Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have just gotten our first Spiral Abyss in Snezhnaya, so of course we have to go ahead and clear it. Today we will be using our C1 Wriothesley as well as our C1 Arlecchino. Of course we're going to go ahead and use our Superconduct team on the first half, because that is of course where the buff is, and then we'll be using our Arlecchino on the second half. Of course she is rerunning, so right now the second half is basically tailor-made towards her. So of course we've got our Odette nowadays. Compared to last time, she does actually have her talents leveled, and she is on the brand new signature set for stellar supports, so we should be seeing an even better performance this time, especially because we don't have an enemy which will be flying the entire time. And then we're going to be playing our Arlecchino in an overload team. I'm honestly not sure what the best team I could create on my account is. Maybe a melting moveset Lali would be a bit better, but honestly I feel like playing a bit lazy, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the overload team instead. Wriothesley is C1, Yai is C1, Odette is C0, so is Escoffier. Arlecchino is C1 because we pulled a double on her banner, and then the rest are C0, C6, and I believe C5. I know I'm pretty sure our Chevreuse is in C6, yeah, C4 rather, sorry. And yeah, full character builds will be at the end. With that being said, let's hop straight into the clears. Alright then, and here we are on the first chamber. Now, I'm not sure any of these will be the most useful for us, because, you know, Stellar doesn't really benefit from skill damage, but oh well, it is what it is. Anyway, gonna go ahead and just use all of our skills here. Of course, not using Escoffier's burst here, because we don't want to lose out on our Stellar hits. It's not the easiest here to make sure we're hitting all 3 enemies at the same time, so I'm just going to try focus on hitting 2 at the same time, which is going well enough so far, although this Odette skill should be able to hit all 3, like so. Okay, there we go, I'll take this, still damaging 2 at a time. You know, I'm sure snezhnaya would be able to clear this a bit quicker, because of course she has a much easier time hitting 3 of these guys at the same time. But hey, I'll take it. That took us about, what, like 40 seconds? So actually not even, like 35 seconds, so you know, not the end of the world. PMA does have some stalling, but we should be able to do this with 2 rotations, I believe. So there you go. Second rotation through, and we are, well, first rotation on this boss, second rotation in, actually, no, more like third rotation in this entire chamber. But anyway, go ahead and set up our totems. Oh, okay, I've just gotten dragged there. Honestly, I forgot. I always forget what some of these ruin enemies do. It's like, they're such brainless enemies that, like, well, not brainless, mostly you just kind of don't really have to think about when you fight them. But anyway, there we go, we cleared this in about 75 seconds. You know, not the fastest clear in the world, but there was a bit of stall in the fact that we were struggling to hit more than 2 targets, and also from the fact that PMA just stalls us for a little bit. But hey, we'll take it. Anyway, go ahead and pop our rotation here, just do a normal attack so that we can get an overload on our Chevreuse. And then, okay, now we can go ahead and hopefully take out this boss easy peasy, like so. We'll take it. That was about, what, like 15 seconds, so W. But yeah, I will say Wriothesley, I'm very happy with his performance. I know this is a C1 Wriothesley, then again, I wouldn't say that much changes in between C0 and C1. It's about, I think, like 8% DPS increase, if I'm not mistaken, something of the sort. Which, you know, to be fair, it's definitely not bad. So yeah, it definitely is a noticeable increase. But the biggest part is if you did pull C2. Okay, I'm glad I timed my ult there at just about the last second. But yeah, I'd say the biggest thing about C1 Wriothesley is the fact that we will be able to get his C2 in 7.1, and when that happens, oh boy, is it going to go incredibly hard. Anyway, there we go, we cleared that stage in just under a minute, I believe. So with that being said, on to stage 2. Alright then, and here we are in the second chamber. Now I will definitely go ahead and take this attack buff very happily. That will help out both of our teams here. Okay, anyway, I have higher hopes for our Wriothesley this chamber, because there is no AoE here, so we can just go ahead and destroy the enemies. We are getting some nice hits here for over 200k. Then again, we do have the buff from the not memory turbulence, that's HSR. Okay, I don't remember. What was it? Leyline? No, it's not Leyline disturbance, is it? I don't know. All I remember is just that this first half buff is very, very OP for our stellar conduct characters. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, C1 Wriothesley feels very good, C2 will feel even better. I will say there is still room for improvement on this team. Odette's pieces aren't the best in the world. Okay, that was some crazy damage right there, but of course, another boss which has to stall. Don't really know what this boss does all that well, I'm not going to lie. Just gonna go ahead and follow him, and I guess not stand in front of those two massive lasers. But okay, okay, we are going to clear here in 55 seconds. There we go. That's more like it. That's what we get to do in single target, or when we don't have to just fight a massive AoE. Obviously, Wriothesley isn't bad in AoE. It's just that we don't have a grouper in this team. For example, when I used to run him on a freeze team, and you know, if there was a lot of AoE, you just run Kaza in the last slot. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and use normal attacks on Fischl here so that we can get some more Oz procs, I think, with the coordinated attacks. And I want to do it from range because I don't want to lose any HP. But okay, I've once again lost my trail of thought here. Go ahead and use our Durin ultimate. The Cryo Shield will be very easy to take out here. Of course, you know, the fact that this is a C1 Arlecchino, we will be clearing this a bit quicker than those who, of course, do not have it. Then again, I guess you could say the same thing that at the same time we don't have a C6 Chevreuse, but then again, I think the difference between C0 and C1 Arlecchino is bigger than C4 and C6 Chevreuse, but oh well. But yeah, we are just absolutely melting the boss here. And oh, okay, I was going to say onto the third stage, but never mind, they went ahead and shoved in a Cryo Abyss Mage here. Actually, you know what, I don't mind this, because, you know what, at least we can go ahead and recharge some of our energy, and we don't really have to worry about how quickly we clear this. So there we go, we can funnel energy into our entire team, and there we go, that's a W. And we can go ahead and move on to the third and final chamber already. These are going incredibly quickly. Alright then, and here we are in the third and final stage. I'll just go ahead and grab the ER buff, and now I also remember what I wanted to say. I was going to say our Wriothesley performance can also improve, not just from improving on our Odette ever so slightly, but also because Wriothesley is still on the Martial Say set instead of on the new Starter Conduct set. Because my Starter Conduct set, I don't have a one which is all that great for him, so I'm still gonna have to continue farming that, and then I'll switch it over to him. He is still on our Martial Say. Our Martial Say res used to be top 2%. Maybe was it top 1% at one point? I don't quite remember. It was definitely top 2% at some point. It went down to top 3%. But then we had to change our Cryo Goblet to an Attack Goblet, so now it went down to top 4% because the crit value went slightly down. But oh well. Actually, I mean, hey, you know, we might not have the Starter Conduct set, but it doesn't matter because we are clearing this incredibly quickly. Anyway, just gonna ult here for some more front level damage and also to not have to tank any damage. And there we go, we clear in 51 seconds. So yeah, Wriothesley, I mean, even at C0, that would maybe be what, like 10 seconds slower, if even. But yeah, C1 Wriothesley just feels so great. I'm sure C0 feels just as great because, you know, the C1 doesn't even give you quality of life anymore. It's just a bit more damage. But the C2, boy, I cannot wait to get my hands on a C2 Wriothesley. Like, to think that my Wriothesley will be doing, like, I think, like, over 200, at least over 200k DPS, if not over 210k DPS, is crazy for a unit which I simply pulled 2 copies of back in version 4.1 when he released. So yeah, I am so happy, and I'm also glad that our Arlecchino is doing pretty damn well as well. Like I said, she is carried by the fact that we did manage to get that double, but hey, it is what it is. Still still the only ever double where I've gotten both the characters in the pool. I've gotten, I think, like 3 or 4 doubles in Genshin, although mostly on Archon banners. Yeah, because Colombina, we got a Mizuki in that pull. Mavwiko, we got a Diluc in that pull. And then Farina, we got a... what was it? In Farina, we got a Tignari in it. So actually, that's every single Archon in a row. So technically, when it's time to pull for the Tsaritsa, we should get a double. Hopefully, it'll be 2 Tsaritsas instead of a standard character. But okay, there we go. During all my yap, we went ahead and cleared that very easily with our Arlecchino. The gameplay is quite simple here, so not much to commentate over, and it's a boss we've also seen a million times over in the Abyss. But yeah, there we go. We managed to 36 star the new Abyss. I think we had over 45 seconds to spare in every single stage that we did. So I am very happy with both these version 4 units performance. Sure, they do have a little bit of vertical investment in them. Then again, these are characters which are approaching 3 years old. So I will take the clears. With that being said, let's move on to the character builds and outro. Well then, very happy with both the clears. Happy that Arlecchino is still holding up. Of course, this is a C1 Arlecchino. I'm sure it's a bit harder for C0 Arlecchinos. So, you know, I guess just very lucky that I got that double back then. Wriothesley, you know, one of the few intentional C1s I've pulled. Well, was going to be the only one, but then, as I've said before, the only reason why I pulled Flynn's C1 was because we accidentally got Columbinas and then Inefas, so, you know, I wasn't gonna have Flynn's get outshunned on his own team. Anyway, moving on to the character builds, our Wriothesley is on 52% crit rate, which plus the 36 from Marjusei as well as 15 from Cryo Resonance becomes about, I believe it's 101.4 crit rate, quick maths, 281 crit damage as well. We used to have slightly better crit value, but we had to go ahead and change our cryo damage goblet to a attack percent one, so it is slightly worse, but oh well, it is what it is. We don't have a good stellar set on him. I think we have about 20 less crit value on it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with Marjusei for now until I can farm a better set for him. On the new Star Contact set, he is triple crowned as well, with Sif, in case I forgot to show. Miko herself is on 69% grade, which plus the 16%, plus 15% from Cryo Resonance is 100%, and because we are playing in triple Cryo, this will be 100 uptime on the Cryo Resonance, 226 crit damage with 187 EM, so no EM substats here. R5 with Sif, level 80 instead of 90, and then here we have solid crit value here, although this is EM instead of attack percentage, just because I don't have a good attack percentage piece for her attack percent goblet, and then crit damage with crit rate, and then constellations, like I said, C1 from the constellation selector, and then 210-6 talents. For our Odette, we do have over 2k attack, 71 crit rate, 170 crit damage on the new Traveler signature sword, which is our free. And then here we have I mean, you know, our pieces on the best here. We don't even have a good 5-star. I mean, this is the best one, but I was just like, you know what, I'll just take the crit rate from this because we already have over 2k attack. So yeah, definitely still a little bit of work to do. I think I'll spend like one more day farming this artifact set, and then I'll go back to farming an artifact set for my Wriothesley, because I do want him on the new stellar set. And then 110-6 talents here. Escoffier, her stats don't matter as much. If I wanted to maximize damage, I should put her on tenacity. Honestly, I just forgot to go and craft a tenacity set where I have some attack pieces. So yeah, I will have to work on that. Although actually maybe it doesn't matter if I put her on HP pieces to actually make her healing a bit worse, so then if we do need to use her burst in an emergency, it shouldn't be as big of an issue. But anyway, C0 and then 110-9 talents. When it comes to our Arlecchino team, I'll try to do this a bit quicker now. So Arlecchino herself, over 2k attack, 80 crit, 210 crit damage on a Primordial Jadewing Spear that we got from standard, and then very solid pieces on her. I am quite happy with her build. I think the only thing I'd be looking to improve here is our goblet, but our circlet rubber. But I mean, I guess it gives us a bit of EM, I guess. But yeah, anyway, there's that C1 we pulled in the double, and then 10-6 talents. When it comes to our Durin, he is on 51% grade, 206 crit damage, 171 ER. He is on an R1 Fav, level 90. He is on this set here, which will give us some more crit rate as well. Decent pieces here as well. And then very solid circuit, one of the best on my entire account, so very happy with that. Constellations, C0 with 688. Oh, I didn't even realize he was 688. Oh, I actually forgot he wasn't ascended. I'll have to look to fix that one day. I completely forgot about that. Anyway, our Chevreuse is on nearly 30k HP, you know, bit of ER, some crit rate from Fav, just to proc the passive, and then also on Noblesse to give our Arlecchino that attack buff. And then I forgot I need to still level some of her pieces up a bit. It's been a while since I've used Chevreuse. C4, so yeah, we don't have the C6 effect, so the team's performance could be even better. And then our Fischl is somewhere, there we go. She is herself on, you know, decent stats here as well. Weapons, stringless, you know, I'm not running her on tenacity, she is just on this set, sure. Maybe at this point it's better to switch her to tenacity, because she does less DPS herself, maybe, I'm not sure. I have not been looking into stuff like that. C6, and then these are our talents. My Fischl build has been unchanged since Fontaine release. But yeah, that's it for the character builds. Let me know how your Spiral Abyss runs went. What are you thinking of the current snezhnaya meta? With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. See ya.